our favorite. We find where we belong. Grateful for his love every single day. Empowered for his day strong. Lighting on the way to the high. In unity we rise with love and resilience. Reach for the sky.
Welcome, ladies. Welcome back to It's Our Time podcast. I'm Kay.
And I'm Tiara. Hey, ladies.
Hey, ladies. We out here. We sipping our wine, and we're talking about the biggest D. No, we're talking about divorce. The other D. Today, we're gonna ask each other questions that we picked for each other, and just talk to you a little bit about what we think you guys would want to know about divorce.
We picked this topic because we know that divorce is, a really, really tough time for a woman and for anybody. That's your family, that's somebody you love, that was your best friend at one point. And just getting through that journey is hard. But, it's a community of women that has been through it, and we're here to help you and guide you along the way and support you, because divorce is a journey, it's not a race. And every day is a different feeling and a different emotion. And since we both were married and divorced, we have some, things that we went through that we think may help you guys.
Yes.
So we got some questions we're going to ask each other, like Kay said, and dig a little deep into how we got over this.
Yes.
And how we're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about divorce. I got married when I was 27. I've been divorced. Well, first I was separated. I was separated for a long time. Before I was married, though, I didn't really know who I was before I was married. I didn't like the same things that I did once I got married, or even now. So, once you make that commitment to somebody, you should already be in your healing area, or you should already know who you are. You should already be aware of who you are and what you like and what you don't like. What else?
Yeah, you definitely want to be know who you are, because living together with somebody, merging accounts and building businesses and all that stuff with somebody, sometimes it can bring outside the people that you don't know. They say you want to see people through seasons, and that's very true. Because they say sickness and health, death do us part, and they say for rich or for poor, what you gonna do when your spouse do lose his job? Are you ever gonna be able to hold it down? Are you gonna be able to do 80 and sometimes he do 10? This marriage thing is a real thing, and a lot of times we break because we're not equipped to hold all of that.
Right.
For me, my ex-husband, his parents died, and I had to be his everything, and that was a lot on me. I was young. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't ready to be somebody's everything. So when you take those vows, just know you're really taking those vows, and you have to be there to support and love, your partner.
Yes. You got to really understand those vows and have deep conversations before you even get to those vows.
Right. Because the wedding and all that stuff is cool, but it's surviving after the wedding. What they said, a 7-year itch, you got to get through all of that.
Yes.
And, do you really like this person? These are questions you got to ask yourself before. Like, everybody wants to be engaged and proposed to and all that, the fun and glitz.
Yes.
But the living it, the reality of it, marriage is a beautiful thing when two people are trying to build and grow
together.
Yes.
And they have like the same goals and everything aligned. Well, not everything's always going to align, but like your morals and your integrity and certain things have to align,
and your character.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like for marriages to work, it has to be a commitment to God, because and it has to be a commitment to your best friend, because best friends don't really hurt friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love you enough that I'm not going to hurt my friend.
Right.
And I can say that now as a mature grown woman, but when I was married, I got married at 21. I didn't really understand what a wife was. But if I look back at my younger self, I'm proud of who I am now because of the growth.
Yes.
And I feel like divorce pushed me to become a better person and just really take the time to know who I am.
Yeah, that's true. Like, you don't really know who you are or what marriage really going to be like.
Nope.
You have to be in it to really know.
Yeah. Like you said, it takes two people willing to put up their fight, try every day, choose each other every day.
And you need to have God in your
Yes,
marriage.
God is first.
I didn't. Like, my marriage was not rooted with God. Like, we had different religions, so we already clashed on that. So
Right.
you got to be equally yoked.
Yes.
And you know, some people it might work for, but for me, like, I know how I am with church. I
Yes.
want to be involved. I want my
Yes.
husband to be involved. I want to celebrate all the
Holidays.
the holidays. And sometimes it just doesn't work out if you're
Right.
two different religions.
And I figured that out like in the dating stage. Like I was more intentional when I started dating after my divorce. Like it was nothing wrong with, I had a lot of guys who were Muslim that tried to hit on me and that I dated. But I was like, you know what? I got to be more intentional and date a Christian person because I want to be equally yoked with the person that I'm with. So that kind of,
Yeah,
it was hard, but
it's hard because you be like
it's hard to find a Christian man nowadays.
Yes.
It really is. But he's out here, y'all.
They out here.
Right.
And especially like if you're not equally yoked, like one of you can start building resentment against each other,
That's true.
Like, oh wait, you practicing your religion a little bit more than I am.
Right.
So resentment comes along.
Right.
It's hard. It's hard when you don't have the same morals and character and religion in a relationship.
Well, we're here talking about divorce, but we also want to touch a little bit topic too. If you feel like you have something worth fighting for, something worth working it out, going to therapy for, something worth communicating, something worth, keeping together, keep your families together.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's nothing out here in this world, that's more important than family.
No.
So if you can make it work, make it work. But we're not going to tell you to stay in nothing that's abusive, that tears you down mentally, physically, or spiritually. Then, you do what you have to do. But we are a team for family.
Yes.
We do want to be married again.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not here bashing men or nothing like that.
No.
We just want to tell you guys our journey and help you along the way.
Right.
But we also want to put that out there too,
We're here to try to help y'all not get a divorce, okay? We're going to tell you all the wrong things so that you don't be in this position.
Yes.
Okay?
We want y'all to keep your families together.
Yes.
Love is a beautiful thing.
And even if you're not married yet, we're going to tell you what to look for.
Yeah. All right.
So let's get into these questions. You want to go first? I'll ask you first.
You want to ask me first?
Sure.
Let me fix my hair real quick.
You cute, boo. You cute. All right. What's one thing you're doing now that you never would have done before marriage? Before divorce.
One thing I'm doing now that I would never do before marriage.
Divorce.
For divorce?
Yeah.
I think it's everything that I'm doing now. Like I said, I feel like my divorce made me become a better person. Like, I feel like with God on my side, I can do all things. So I'm doing everything that, God puts on my agenda. I'm going to go knock it out. I'm going to go try to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
For me and my boys.
And that's on period.
Right. Mm-hmm. Want me to ask you one? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the hardest part about divorce, mentally and emotionally?
Just losing your best friend. You build like a strong connection with somebody that you with day in, day out.
Yes.
And it's just like wiped away. Mm-hmm. And I feel like women, we mentally check out first.
Yes.
Before we leave.
Yes.
So, yeah, losing your friend.
And that takes a long time
to
mentally let it go.
Yeah.
Because we fight and hold on.
Yes. Sometimes a little too long.
Sometimes a little too long.
What was the hardest adjustment?
The hardest adjustment was my kids, because I felt like I was doing something good for them, but in reality, I was tearing their world apart. It's like, I finally had to choose myself, but that was letting other people down, which were my children, and rebuilding, that their faith and, their home and, the new reality of our new beginnings.
And also their outlook on marriage for the future when they try to get married,
Right. But it's like the woman that I am now, and what I knew then was I wanted my kids to be in a healthy environment, in a healthy home. So whatever that looked like, that's what I had to do. Mm-hmm. And like, now it's they don't regret it,
Yeah, they see their mom happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see them happy and
Right.
you know and living great. So that makes me happy that I feel like I made the right decision.
Yes. Yeah, I would say that too with the kids. Like, I think you should you should talk you should have the talk with them together. One thing I didn't do, I didn't communicate that good with them. And it kind of, it kind of hurt them a little bit.
Yeah.
And also, you give the other person the opportunity to dictate what really happened,
Right.
You give them control over the narrative.
Because a lot of times we say, oh, well, you know, just didn't work out with mommy and daddy, and this,
Yeah.
this and the one
Right.
parent, you know, kind of is painting a picture of the other parent. But if we can try to do this in unity, you know, that's the best
Yeah.
situation for the kids because they're gonna go through it anyway. But try to
Yeah.
make it easy for them.
Yeah, it's casualties of war. Poor kids. they get torn apart because people don't know how to come together.
Right. But they even more torn when they see their parents arguing and
Yep.
fighting.
Yeah.
So, you know, you gotta pick this way you want to go with that.
Definitely have the conversation together.
Yeah, definitely have a conversation
Or-
together.
yeah, and if you can, but if you can't, like, at least have the conversation.
One thing that I was big on was never putting the other parent down.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't talk down about my kid's dad. At the end of the day, I'm raising children with him, and I wish him nothing but the best.
Right.
And I want nothing but the best for him, and I want him to be nothing but the best, so he can be the best for my children.
Exactly.
So I don't get into, you know, who he's with or what he's doing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I've been divorced for almost 8.5 years, so like we don't really have a
Right.
friendship. Like my kids are grown older, they have a phone and all that stuff like that. So, you know, I just wish them well and that's it.
Absolutely. I feel like
Yeah.
why even put the other person down?
Right. Right. And when you move on, you gotta move on. You can't control
Yeah.
what they got going on.
No, you can't.
You can't. My thing was, as long as my kids is happy and healthy and okay, we good.
Yes.
That's it.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Right.
I don't know. Sometimes you know how they say like the women be bitter and they do that kind of stuff. Sometimes the men do too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men do it too.
Yeah.
They try to make you jealous,
Uh-huh.
or whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. But you know, you see right through all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But when you focus on you, none of that even matters.
Right.
You gotta continue to stay focused on you and your healing journey and moving forward.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about they'll put you down to the kids.
Oh.
Yeah. Some men do that.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot.
Yes. Oh, yes. They do that too. They do
Yeah.
that too. Somebody gotta be the bad guy, but you know
Somebody
what?
gotta be the bad
I was
guy.
at the point where I didn't care if I was the bad guy
Listen, I don't care either.
because, like,
Right.
this, you know.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the kids they need to love each other. They need to love both of us.
And at the end of the day, too, they will eventually see for themselves. And that's why I said I never talk bad.
Yep.
Because
They
they'll
always
eventually
see for themselves.
If it's me or, you know,
Yeah.
or if it's their dad or if it was nobody.
Right. They always, yeah.
Yeah.
They smart.
They got things.
Yeah.
What role did faith, therapy, or your community help you in your healing process?
Faith got me out of it because actually when I was married, I wasn't really in my religion. I wasn't practicing, Christianity. I'm not going to say I wasn't practicing, but I just wasn't that in touch with God then. So once I started and I started really, being in the Bible, reading God's word and really studying, like it helped me get through it. Because that is tough. Like divorce is tough.
It is. It's like you're alone. You
Yeah.
with you at night.
Yes.
Somebody to do everything with. Yeah.
Yeah, faith definitely helped me. But faith also let me know, like,
Yes.
this is what I need to be doing.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. God, your intuition.
God never going to make you comfortable somewhere he don't want you to be.
It's God's will. When I realized I wanted to be God's will, not my own will,
Yes.
then that's when he started opening my eyes to who I really was.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta change some things.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a time in my life where it's like I felt like I couldn't do certain things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like the world is so big. The world I wanted so much.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm not putting no limits on my life.
Mm-mm.
Like,
At all. Not for nobody.
for nothing and nobody. Like, no, we gotta make some adjustments here.
Yes.
So I guess how faith played. I'm gonna ask myself the same question. How faith played a a role in my healing journey was, it'll be times at night or when I wake up in the morning when I look over the side of my pillow and I just talk to God, and I'll be like, you know what, God, it's just me and you rocking out. I was like, you're the leader and of this house, and I know you're gonna make a way. So I put all my faith, I put everything I have into God, and He continues to open up doors. He continues to wipe my tears when I cry.
Yes.
And help me get through the hard, tough moments, because it wasn't easy at all. It wasn't easy at all. But every day, just knowing God had my back.
Yes.
Way to work.
Yeah. That was good. If someone listening is in the middle of their divorce, what would you say to them?
Follow your heart. Follow your heart and do what you think is best for you and your children and your family. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. You can overcome anything with God. And when you're going through hell, you don't look back. You keep going.
Yes. I would say breathe. I would say this is not the end. This is only a chapter. Turn that page and keep writing that book. And this too shall pass.
This too shall pass.
Yes.
And your new life is so worth going through what you're going to go through.
Yes.
It's only building you and making you stronger. You're going to learn who you are.
Yeah.
In this process.
And you learn from your mistakes. It's like once you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
You know what you don't want and no more. You know what you do want.
But I want to say something real fast though.
Yeah.
Because nobody, I got out of my divorce right, and I'm just thinking like la 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 la, like picking roses and stuff. Everybody's gonna be so nice. I'm gonna be the nice man and all this stuff. Pump the brakes. These men was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta kiss a couple of frogs.
Yes.
I think I feel like
oh my gosh.
You gotta kiss a couple of frogs to get a prince. So just know you're going to meet people. It's not going to work. You're going to re-identify, reinvent yourself.
Yes.
Like just keep going, and God will put the right people in your life. As soon as you start choosing you, everybody else is going to start choosing you. So
yes.
Loving yourself a little bit more.
Yes, and take your time with it. It's no need to rush. Take your time. Get to learn yourself and all the things that you like and what you don't like. Heal. You have to heal.
You have to take that time for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get out there, just know you're going to kiss some frogs. Drink for that one.
Right? Need a drink for that one.
Well, what helped you realize it was time to let go and move on?
When I start finding myself and finding what I liked and what I didn't like, we were separated. We weren't even divorced yet. So it was like, for me, I like who I am without certain things, like certain boundaries on myself.
Okay.
I realized I know what I want in a relationship now. I don't want it to be, what's the word? I don't want it to be like a dictatorship.
Okay.
I know I wanted somebody more gentle with me. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I knew I wanted somebody. I don't know. I think I wanted to know who I was.
Yes.
I was in a relationship since I was 15.
Yeah.
I was married at 21, divorced at 28. I really wanted to learn who was Tiara and what she liked and who she was, and and through the trial and error of dating, I realized, okay, I like that, I don't like that,
right,
or whatever. But I just wanted somebody to generally love me, be root with me, support me,
yes,
be my partner,
right,
have my back. I always said I want to be like, I know it's the right person for me when I can go into a room and they come in there, and I just automatically feel safe. Like I just want to just feel that safeness in my partner.
Yeah. Found out who I was, what colors I liked, and I went back to church. I know I say this a lot, but y'all, church has really been my savior, my saving grace. Um, like I said, I wasn't really rooted when I was married. So I didn't really spend holidays with my kids, and that kind of hurt me. Like growing up, I was a church baby. Like my mom had me in church 6 days a week. She was a minister, so that kind of like
Right.
I never felt easy about it.
Right.
So I knew I had to get back to that.
Okay.
Yeah, and being married, that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
Well, in that relationship, in that marriage.
So, what advice would you give to somebody that's is divorced, and they're newly divorced, and they're trying to heal and cope and get through?
You gotta find ways to get through it. Like lean on your family. Lean on your family. If you're religious, get back in the church. Go to therapy.
That's it.
Um, focus on your healing and your well-being. The gym.
Yes.
Work out. Take care of yourself.
Yeah. I'll say the same thing.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Every day is a journey. Just keep going. It's not the end of the world. It's not over till God say it's over. And it's something greater in store for you. And I feel like the faster we, be okay with God rejecting some things, and the quicker we can get on track to what He has for us. Because God is sometimes protecting us from ourselves. And sometimes in the form of protecting us from ourselves, it's maybe from our spouse. It's not where God wants us to go. He sees your potential. He sees where you're going. He sees you growing. And sometimes that person has to get off on that elevator, that you thought y'all were going to the top with. But that was their season and their floor to get off. You know? So think of the things sometimes that happen. Try to find the positive in it. I had my children. We had this life, whatever the case may be. That was time for me to really rediscover. And like you said, this is your third reinvention.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's never too late to reinvent
Yeah.
yourself. And everybody can't go with you.
People gotta meet me all over again.
Meet me all over, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the hardest part about when you do grow, when you evolve, it's the people that's around you that's used to you being a certain way.
Yes. I realized it was time to let go when, I don't know, like we said, with women, we mentally checked out. I think I was mentally checked out, and then I would get pregnant.
The trap. Oh man, yeah.
So that was happening with me, and then my last time I was like, you know what? We just gonna be better at co-parenting.
Right.
So yeah, that's what happened with me.
Yeah, it's definitely when I figured out what I liked and what I didn't like.
Right.
When I took the time to really take care of Kay.
Right. And also too, I think what plays a lot into people getting divorced, but I know it plays a lot into me getting divorced, is your surroundings and your friends.
Yeah.
Like Kay just said, when you become a different person, sometimes they can't accept that. They try to hold you to the person they thought you were. But imagine being married. You're not the same person either. You have a partner. You have vows that y'all have. You can't be at the club all the time and doing the things you do with your boys and your friends and around your girlfriends, and you the only married person. Sometimes it be your environment that breaks your relationship up.
Yeah.
And you gotta choose your family over everything, and but that takes maturity.
Yes.
So I think for me, I had being young, I fell into some dumb stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just being around single people and single things. And now I'm older, I realize I have to protect my relationship.
Yeah. You definitely need to be around people that's mature.
Yeah. And other people who have boundaries.
Yes.
For their selves.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Did you party and stuff afterwards?
I partied a little bit. It's crazy since I was married so young, and I ain't have that many friends. So I
Okay.
did a lot of things by myself, and that's how I found
Mhm.
myself. Like the friends I do have, they're like, Tara, why you always going out to eat by yourself? Why you didn't call me? Why you didn't whatever?
Yeah.
I really just wanted that time for me.
Yeah.
So I would take myself out to dinner. I would drive to Baltimore, New York, wherever. I really spent a lot of times with me learning who I was.
Right.
And but yeah, I partied with my friends a little bit. I had a good time. You know, dated. You know, certain things didn't work out, but it all taught me. You know, taught me so
Yes.
much about myself.
I don't regret being married.
Me neither.
No.
Me neither.
I don't regret being married. I don't regret the journey at all. Because I wouldn't be the woman I am today.
Exactly. So I actually thank them.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, we thank our exes.
Mhm.
It made us better women.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So it's all about your perception.
Mhm.
You know, when you take it in that
Yeah.
glass and looking at it as full, not half empty,
Yeah.
you walk away with grace, and you give them grace.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any last things?
Well, so this was not about telling you guys how to get divorced. It's telling you guys how not to get divorced. So make sure you really know who you are. Make sure you really know what you want. And make sure you have those hard conversations with your partner before.
And also too, you know, when you're, you know, dating or about to get married or whatever the case may be, y'all have to unlearn unhealthy and toxic behaviors. And y'all have to learn each other's new love languages and how to love your partner the way they want to be loved, not the way you loved your ex or not the way you think they want to be loved. You have to learn that. And I feel like now, in my relationship I'm in now, I communicate about everything. Sometimes too much. But, you know, I really want to know how you feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want you to understand how I feel and how that affected me.
Mhm.
And then not holding on to stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we have our discussions, we have our disputes, we hug, we kiss, we make up, and we keep it moving. We're not going to let it just dangle on, you know? Just creating a healthy love.
Yeah, and I also think you should have your own identity.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get in relationships and we lose ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think that is definitely important. That is important. Remaining yourself, and you know, having a life outside of the marriage too.
And it's like, you know, just having balance.
Yeah.
Because you get caught into the mom and the wife role.
Yeah. You mom and you wife real hard, but you know, you don't leave anything for yourself.
Find a hobby.
Yes.
You know, work out. Find some time for you.
Yeah.
What have you done for you lately? It's real. You gotta put you first because you'll make your husband even more happier. You'll be happy and enjoy within yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes we get burned out in the marriage because we gave everything.
Everything.
We didn't save a little 5% or 10%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I say remain close with your family.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we fall off of that too.
Yeah.
We stop visiting family. We stop visiting friends. That's important.
Right. And you know, just you got to be able to trust. You know, y'all both have to be able to live a life outside of each other.
Yeah.
And you're not blowing them up every 5 minutes or whatever the case may be. You gotta trust your partners. And choosing to trust them every single day.
Yeah.
And act in love.
Trust is a part of a healthy relationship. Any relationship.
Yeah. We don't want to see our ladies going through divorce and things like that. So, you know, really, like you said, asking the questions before you get married, really picking each other's brains, really seeing y'all go through things. Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I had a health scare a couple years ago, and I think that's what really made me think of relationships different. Like, do this person really have my back?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because life be life, and things happen, and you know, situations may not be so ideal, but you want to make sure your partner will be there to rock and roll with you, not give up on you when times get hard. So that really opened my eyes.
Yep. All right. So, what is it your time to do, Tiara?
It's my time to just continue to love myself, learn myself, become the best version of myself. And, you know, one day I do want to be a wife again. And when I am a wife, I walk in that every day. But, you know, legally be a wife. Just be able to be my best the best version of myself and go about this differently so I can make my relationship work and last a long haul.
Yeah.
What is it your time to do, Kay?
Now I don't know my time. It is my time to it's my time in my relationship to let my man lead,
That's a big one.
because I feel as though I don't let somebody lead me to say no. I don't so, I be kind of protective with somebody leading me.
That's true.
So it's my time to let my boo lead.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good thing to identify.
Yeah.
Right. And see, guys, as you guys are healing and going through these journeys, we're finding out things and bringing things out.
Yes,
that
I
we
know.
are also working on and learning
Yeah.
ourselves too. So this is the community. We want y'all to be vulnerable with us and open with us. And if you're going through a divorce, you're in a relationship, you try to make it work, and you have any questions or anything you need advice on, we are here to help you guys along the way. We're not perfect. We've been through some things, and we just want you to know we are all similar.
Yes. So let us know what it is your time to do. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in again.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Bye.